morning, good evening and good afternoon, ladies and gents. My name is Dennis Blogger, and if you don't know me, I run DB Fragrancer on YouTube, and today we'll be going over 5 different sort of hypebeast TikTok fragrances. I'll just be reviewing them and giving you my initial thoughts on them. But either way guys, let's cue the intro. Now before I get into these fragrances, I'd just like to say that these fragrances range from roughly 12 Great British pounds up to 25. You can get them off of TikTok shop, you can get them off of eBay for absolute bargains. So if you are interested in any of these, I'll put some links into the description for this video to some of them without any sort of brand deals or any sort of commission, so you know that I'm just trying to look out for you. But either way guys, coming in at number 5, in no particular order by the way, we have Afnan's 9 PM. Now, I've known and heard of this fragrance for years, absolutely years. It took me about a year and a half to actually buy this because of the DNA. I must say, it is a very, very nice fragrance. It's quite wearable for its clothing. And for those who don't know, this is a clone of Jean-Paul Gaultier's Ultramal. And for a clone, this is a very, very well-known one, a very, very good one, and a slightly more easy to wear, fresher take on the DNA. When I think of this fragrance, I think immediately a nice juicy blast of pear mixed with some bubblegum and some sort of fresh, generic shower gel nuances to it. But overall, this is a very sweet, youthful, playful men's fragrance. I copped this roughly for 18 Great British pounds. Nowadays, I think it costs a bit more just because of the hype. While I'm at it actually, let's just give a quick atomizer test. Oh, yeah, absolute blast of fruitiness, a very fruity opening. You get a bit of tonka and vanilla, but that's mainly more in the dry down. Overall in the opening you get a sort of synthetic, very fruity, very uplifting, fresh, very, very juicy, fruity opening. And that's mainly what you get throughout the fragrance. As I said, you do get a bit of vanilla and tonka bean that sort of mellows it down and calms it from the mid to the dry down. But overall, this is a very fruity, sweet, clubbing fragrance. And for a young man, I'd say around from 12 years old, if you are 12, then there you go, buy this one. But from 12 years old to, I'd say, 18 to 19 years old, you definitely be able to pull this one off. It's very fresh, very, very likable, very sweet, and projects as well. Projects for about 1.5 hours and lasts from 8 to 9 hours on my skin. But yeah, I've got numerous amounts of compliments with this. This used to be actually quite a bit of a hidden gem, but because of TikTok and because of how many people bought this one is quite well known throughout the fragrance industry. But yeah, I bought this for roughly 18 Great British pounds. You can buy this for roughly about 20 to 25 US dollars. It lasts a long time. It's very wearable, very good dumb reach fragrance, but just know it can be cloyingly sweet. When I think of this, as I said, I think of someone going to middle school or someone going to the club. It's very, very sweet. Very, very sweet, very playful, very youthful, but also very easy to like. And it's just a photorealistic bubblegum and pear scent, and the pear is so juicy and sweet that I actually refrain from wearing this because I don't really like fragrances that are too sickeningly sweet, and this sort of does have that. But it does scratch the itch for a sweet, everyday wear sort of fragrance, and I've worn this numerous times, got many compliments. Just know when you first buy this, before maceration, this can smell slightly synthetic, but give it a couple of weeks and it will start smelling great on your skin. This is Afnan's 9 PM. Right, so coming in at the number 4 spot, this one is called Lattafa Asad. And it's no surprise, a lot of people do know this fragrance. This is a dupe of Dior's Sauvage Elixir, and it is a damn good one. And very cheap as well. You can get really, really cheap nowadays. It used to be roughly 50 Great British pounds back when it got first released. Now it's around 15. Price inflation is real for fragrances, especially for clone ones. So when you see a new release, don't buy immediately. Wait till the hype sort of dies down. But yeah, this is Lattafa Asad. Just check the atomizer. As I said, this is a dupe of Dior's Sauvage Elixir, but I wouldn't say it's one-to-one. It's more wearable in a way. When I smell this, I think of it's got this sort of Coca-Cola nuance, this sort of Coca-Cola sweetness in this version of it, and it's got some sort of prominent leather note in the base. I don't know if leather is actually in the base, but it's a sort of easier to wear, more synthetic, fresher version of Dior Sauvage Elixir. And overall thoughts on this fragrance actually. As I said, it's very cheap, very easy to wear. It's a good no-brainer fragrance, especially in the UK, because almost every guy wears this fragrance, which is no surprise. But as I said, if you want a clone of Dior Sauvage Elixir, then look no further. But actually, I will say, I do prefer one other fragrance which is similar to this one. Let me go get it. For those who haven't seen me review this one yet, this is Fragrance World's Just Aswad. And obviously, they look very, very similar, but I will say, this one's got a cheaper build. This one may break easier, but the juice in this one is much, much better than this one. The reason why I say that is, this is a closer clone, this one lasts longer, and this one also is just spicier. It's much more, it projects much more as well. It's cheaper than this one actually, this one's much cheaper. But either way, if you are looking for like a sort of Dior Sauvage Elixir clone, go for this one. But as well, this one's still not a bad clone. I just think this one's more accurate. But as a fragrance that stands alone, this one's definitely not bad. Talk about projection and longevity. This projects for about 1 to 1.5 hours and lasts about 8 to 10 hours, depending on your sort of skin type. But overall, it's a great fragrance. It is slightly overused by boys here in the UK, but don't let that sort of discourage you. Both these fragrances, they're absolutely amazing, but if I were you, I'd pick this one over this one. This one was good when it was first released, because without this one wouldn't exist. But overall, Lattafa Asad is an absolutely amazing fragrance, amazing dupe of Dior Sauvage Elixir, and it started these sort of Dior Sauvage Elixir dupes, if that makes sense. Without the birth of this one wouldn't exist. But either way guys, I think you know my opinion on this one. It's cheap, it's wearable, it's very, very pleasant, roughly. Just don't wear it to the gym. But, as I said, cheap, wearable, everyday sort of fragrance, and quite easy to wear for a Dior Sauvage Elixir clone. But still, I don't think this is a bad fragrance at all. I just think there are better alternatives. But either way, this is Lattafa's Asad. Alright, coming in at the number 3 spot, once again in no particular order, we have one that I've received numerous amounts of compliments on. I think it's a very beautiful fragrance. This is Suits by Fragrance World. And look at that dent, man. That is quite a hefty dent. I just go to show how much I love this fragrance. So, for those who don't know, this is a dupe of Yves Saint Laurent's or YSL's Tuxedo. And for a clone, this is very, very cheap. I think this one is actually the cheapest out of this whole collection. This cost me about £11.50, about 15 to 20 US dollars. And it is very, very good. It's a classy, sophisticated fragrance that just smells pleasant to absolutely everybody. It's very unique, but at the same time it's very hard to offend. You get a bit of black pepper and spices in the opening, but mainly a sort of honey sweetness. And when I'm thinking honey, it's not like a very sort of thick, sticky honey. It's a very elegant, classy honey. Damn, this smells so good. Oh yeah, atomizer as well. Very good atomizer. If I try to picture this fragrance, I can think of, it reminds me of sort of freshly washed white sheets with a bit of honey, a bit of lavender. I don't know if this has lavender, but I get a subtle image of lavender, a bit of black pepper. This is like a very good, very, very good sort of white shirt, dinner time sort of fragrance. If you're wearing a dinner shirt, if you're going to a special occasion, it's very formal, very sophisticated, a very overall beautiful fragrance. I can't stop sniffing it, man. It's such a beautiful fragrance. It's got I'm pretty sure it's got like a heavy amount of rose, but I don't fully smell it. There is, I think it's got a bit of Bulgarian rose, because it's a very sort of, not a very dark sort of carnal rose, but not even a sort of sweet jammy rose. It's a very elegant sort of clean rose in a way, and I think that's what makes it smell so elegant and timeless. because any age, any sort of person can pull this fragrance off. Any sort of special occasion, a night out, a date night out, or you're going to a party, a formal party, this one's really, really good. I will say as well though, I have heard about one called, it used to be called a Tux, now it's called Winsome by Maison Alhambra. This one's by Fragrance World, so I think they're like opposing houses. But I think that one lasts longer than this one, and that one projects more. But in my collection, and also just throughout TikTok, this one has been hyped just as much, if not even more. I've seen countless reviews on this. I thought, let's give it a blind buy, and I do not regret it. So I think it's really hard to dislike this. It's not overbearingly sweet. It's got a subtle amount of honey sweetness in it, but it doesn't overpower the fragrance. It's very classy, very gentlemanly. Actually, that's the first word that comes to mind. It's a very sort of gentlemanly fragrance. It's got a bit of booziness in it. It's got a bit of whiskey, I think, or cognac. But it's not a very sort of overall boozy fragrance. It's mainly just a classy white sheet honey booze black pepper fragrance. Yeah, very well blended. Only issue I have with this fragrance is it doesn't project the best. I get about 1 hour of projection and it lasts about 6 to 7 hours on my skin. Not the longest, but it's still a beautiful fragrance. And yeah, I don't know what else to say. Obviously, if you want a better version of this, or if you want a version that lasts longer than this, then go for Winsome. But still, as a overhyped sort of TikTok fragrance, I think this lives up to the hype. I think it's a very, very good fragrance, and before the Tux or Winsome existed, I think this was a very good clone at the time. And so yeah, this is Suits by Fragrance World. Now, keeping the sort of boozy theme going on, we have Lattafa Khamrah. Obviously, you should have seen this one coming. It's a TikTok fragrance video, man, of course. But this one needs no introduction, man. Very good atomizer. And the fragrance is just wow. Wow, that is strong. So, first thing you get in this boozy apple pie. You get a blast of apple pie mixed with, I think, cognac or rum. It's a very sweet. It's a very sweet apple pie with a very sort of savoury smelling booze, and it's a very strong booze. You get a lot of sweetness in this compared to what it's duping. And if I haven't mentioned what it's duping yet, this is a dupe of Kilian's Angel Share, and you can sort of see the resemblance in the bottles. They look somewhat similar, but regardless, as a dupe of Kilian's Angel Share, this isn't one-to-one. There are quite the amount of differences, but still, as a fragrance on its own, I think this is a very, very good fragrance. It projects about 2 hours and lasts, at least for me, it lasts all day. But with this fragrance, I will say this fragrance is known to sort of leave you nose blinds. And what I mean by that is people can smell you, but you can't smell yourself because you're just so used to the smell of it on you. But yeah, you got a lot of sweetness from the dates, tiny bit of sugar. I don't know if sugar is actually a note in this, but it smells very, very sugary, very sort of classy, elegant, sophisticated. And amongst the fragrances that we have reviewed in this video, this one is by far the most unisex. A woman can pull this off, a man can pull this off. It's a very beautiful, sexy, boozy apple pie sort of fragrance. Wow. Wintertime, this one is really, really good. Smells absolutely delicious, smells almost edible. Yeah, very cheap. Bought this for about 15 Great British pounds. I have 2 bowls of this, including the Khamrah Kahwa in the back. I'll definitely be ordering more because this one is really, really good. It smells elegant, classy, sophisticated. As I said, wintertime, boozy sort of apple pie. But we can wear this during the summer and spring, just during the evening. During the day, it's a bit harder to wear just to how overbearingly, sickeningly sweet and boozy it is. It's more of a Christmassy sort of fragrance. But still though, I love this one. Very, very nice, very elegant, and very cheap by this fragrance. Now, last but definitely not least, I wanted to review this fragrance for quite a long time, but I never found myself to do it. And I don't know what to say, man. This is Fragrance World's Aether Extrait, better said. And this is really sort of hard to see what it's duping. This is a dupe of Parfums de Marly's Greenly, and compared to the other ones I smelled another one called Midori. I saw on TikTok shop. Compared them to this one's the closest you can get as of now that I know of. Oh, it's so nice. And by the way, look at this atomizer. I don't know if you saw this dispersal, but it's a nice pressurized sort of atomizer. That is fresh. This, in my opinion, is literally springtime in the bottle. And I was talking about the bottle. Look at that bottle design, man. That is absolutely beautiful. This sort of futuristic approach on a bottle. I feel bad for whoever made this, because whoever's shaping the glass in these bottles must have a hard time doing them. But still, it's a very beautiful sort of, how do you say it? It's like a fresh green apple. You know, the sort of green Granny Smith apples that you have in the backyard and you bite into them. And it's not fully ripe, it's got this sort of tart, tangy sort of bitter taste. That's what comes to mind. So yeah, you get a lot of sort of green apple, you get a lot of moss, and when I'm saying moss, I don't mean like a sort of vintage retro sort of mossiness. It's a very sort of earthy, but at the same time almost like petrichoral moss. It's very, very calming. I can smell some sort of white florals. I don't know if white florals are officially in the fragrance notes, I'll double check, but I get some sort of white floral creaminess. It's ever so slightly there. You can only notice it if you properly concentrate. But as I said, yeah, it's a very beautiful sort of dewy springtime fragrance. Tons of green apple, actually quite a bit of citrus as well. I do sense some sort of like orange peely sort of bergamot, citrus, whatever's in the top notes. And in the base notes as well. Tons of moss, tons of woods as well. It smells like you're walking through a forest during the springtime. You can sort of imagine a waterfall next to you. There's freshly sprouted flowers from the ground. That's what comes to mind. It's a very sort of uplifting but also calming fragrance. With this fragrance as well, it is actually quite formal. It's got this sort of sparkly metallic aspect to it that can have you wear it like in the office or have you wear it in more professional environments. And as a signature fragrance overall, I think this is actually pretty good. With price though, this one is the most expensive. It cost me about 25 Great British pounds, and what can I say, man? It's worth the price. It is definitely worth the price. But I do have one issue with this, and the issue is when I first bought this, I immediately thought that this smells like dish soap. You know those fairy sort of dish soaps that you wash dishes with? It smells exactly like that. You will have to give it a little bit of time to macerate, like give it a couple of weeks maximum. But after it macerates, it smells absolutely divine. And for a TikTok fragrance, I definitely think this lives up to the hype. Yeah, either way guys. So, last but definitely not least, we have French Avenue's Aether Extrait. Actually, you know what? I'm about to have a lesson in like half an hour, so I might as well just douse myself in this. Wow, that's fresh. Yeah, you can tell I like this one. But either way guys, thank you so much for watching today's YouTube video. If you do have any suggestions in my next sort of videos, then please do not hesitate and consider commenting down. And while you're at it, give it a like and subscribe, man, come on. You watched the whole video, you might as well. I'm still a small YouTuber, so please excuse this, but I need them, man. Either way. Once again guys, thank you so much for watching today's YouTube video, and I'll see you guys in the next one, alright? Take care guys.